This is Garis, Masculist, MGTOW flyers. That is 2 3-page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW, written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 774, part 2, entitled Female Masculists Need to Learn Masculist Politics. Carrying straight on. To reform the divorce courts, to stop the above butchery, we need to create a FIP society. Women need to be FIP'd. The gender laws need to be men-feared. Men need to be given the that's paternity rejection right. That is the same legislated right for a man to reject an unwanted pregnancy that women already have with their maternity rejection right, aka abortion right. That is the right to abort an unwanted fetus that could ruin a woman's life. The fact that women have the marrow, but men don't have the makes masculists burn with a sense of injustice. This flyer makes the point that women, female masculists, need to be made conscious of the importance of masculist politics if women are to get what they want, that is, a man, and to have kids. That's not going to happen in today's society that is so monoconsciously, feministedly biased. Society needs to be made bi-conscious, which means that masculist ideas need to be spread a lot further, so that everyone becomes bi-conscious, so that female masculists and male masculists can combine forces to push for masculist politics, for the men-fairing of the gender laws, for the creation of GECs, gender equality committees, in the parliaments, that consist half of female feminist politicians and half of male masculist politicians, so that the gender issues of both sexes are dealt with equally, which is far from being the case in today's gynocentric world, in today's monoconscious feminist world. Society must be restructured so that men, young men, are prepared to be fathers again. And a prerequisite for that to happen is that divorce is no longer toxic for men the way it is today. For the divorce courts to be made men fair, society will need to be FIP'd. Women will need to become FIPs. So that it's no longer the case, as it is today, that about 80% of young women, in brackets, according to the manosphere, choose to study fluffy crap majors, in brackets, making them what masculists call fluffy crappers, close brackets, that the economy does not value, so does not pay well for, resulting in millions of women becoming fluffies as adults, and hence depending on men to pay for them, and hence resulting in one father in 4 being butchered in the fluffy feminist-dominated divorce courts. The importance of masculist politics, that is the powerful need for the masculists to move on into their second major historical phase of masculist politics, is still not widely realised. Since the need for masculist politics is not yet universally appreciated by young men, it's not surprising that the same is also true for young women, for female masculists. This flyer aims to help overcome this lack of awareness of the critical importance of masculist politics amongst female masculists. Spelling it out more, if young women want to have a man in their lives and to have kids, then they need to join forces with men, with bi-conscious masculisted men, for the restructuring of society, for the FIPPing of women, for the creation of a FIP society, so that the divorce courts are reformed, so that paternity is no longer toxic for men, so that the GECs are established, so that the para and OPTAB, obligatory paternity testing at birth, to block women's awful gender crime of paternity fraud, where a woman lies to her man that the kid growing in her is his when she knows it's not, close brackets, are legislated. At the moment, there's a growing gender war between the sexes, based largely on a lack of bi-conscious awareness by both sexes. Monoconscious feminists are very conscious of how men oppress women, in brackets, for example, rape, domestic violence, sexual harassment, patriarchy, misogyny, etc., close brackets, due to their knowledge of monoconscious feminist ideas, semicolon. And monoconscious masculists are very conscious how women oppress men, in brackets, for example, their manslavery, their divorce rape, their forced fathering, etc., due to their monoconscious masculist ideas. When a monoconscious feminist learns some masculism, and hence by definition becomes bi-conscious, she loses her monoconscious anger at men for the ways that men oppress women, because she sees that gender oppression is a two-way street, that women oppress men too, and in fact far worse, since many of women's gender crimes against men are horrible and last decades, making them a lot more serious than the relatively minor ways that men oppress women. That bi-conscious awareness on the part of the bi-conscious feminist will cause her anger at men for the ways that men oppress women to be cancelled by her female masculine anger at women for the worst ways that women oppress men. This cancelling of her monoconscious feminist anger at men will make her a lot nicer for men to be with. So these newly bi-conscious feminists will then be a lot more likely to have and to keep a boyfriend. They'll be a lot more attractive for men to have around. So men, bi-conscious masculistic men, will be a lot more inclined to give bi-conscious feminists their male attention, unlike today, when most feminists are still monoconscious and hence repulsive to men, certainly to bi-conscious masculistic men, who choose to let such women rot on the shelf, effectively exterminating them, not even pumping and dumping them. Thus, it's critical, if humanity wants to prevent wiping itself out via the birth rate crash, that society becomes bi-conscious, so that both masculists and feminists join forces to create a bi-conscious society, a FIP society, for the men-fairing of the gender laws. To fundamentally restructure society in the way that masculists want, it's not enough just to be conscious of what the problems are that currently prevent that restructuring. Admittedly, such an awareness is necessary as a first step, since a problem does not get solved if one is not aware that there is a problem in the first place. The Masculists are currently teaching society of men's problems, of the need for a masculist movement, and particularly of the need for a masculist politics to change the gender laws so that they are fair to men, to give female masculists the political tools and vision so that they can see what needs to be done, so that society becomes FIP'd, so that men are treated fairly, so the gender laws are balanced across the two sexes, so the two sexes cease their gender war, or we will indeed wipe ourselves out. Look at the capital of South Korea, Seoul, which has a birth rate of under 0.6 children per woman, when the replacement rate is 2.1 children per woman. If this low birth rate continues in South Korea, then in a mere 4 generations, there will be no more South Korea. Many other countries are going down the same trajectory of population extinction, so there's powerful motivation to get rid of the gender war. That war needs to stop by the bi-consciousing of society, so women need to become bi-conscious. This process is now well underway, as judged by the growing number of female masculists on the internet now. But these women remain largely ignorant of the critical need for them, and for society as a whole, to learn about the importance of masculist politics, to solve young men's unwillingness to be fathers. Female masculists have an important role to play in the creation of a bi-conscious society, but that role will be a lot stronger and more effective if these female masculists are made conscious of the critical importance of masculist politics, hence the point of this whole flyer. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. in brackets. Click on the Masculist tab for 770 plus Masculist essays and their videos, close brackets. Google the terms London Real and Hugo de Garis to see videos on masculism at AI will kill 1 billion people, dash. Do we create our exterminators? Question mark. Professor Hugo de Garis, dash. London Real, brackets. See the last half hour of this 2-hour interview for the Masculist segment, close brackets, as well as Countdown to Extinction, How AI Will Exterminate Mankind, again for the last 40 minutes on masculism. These flyers are available in text and video formats on Minds, BitChute, Odyssey, MGTOW.tv, X, and YouTube. I have over 1,000 Masculist videos in 16 playlists on YouTube that can be accessed by searching for the channel name Garis Masculist Videos. That's all one word. All 1,000 of my Masculist videos in one long list in most recent first time order can also be found on X by searching the channel name Garis Masculist Videos. That is 4 words. Ad-libbing now, I'm still puzzled whether YouTube is shadow banning me or not, because the hit counts I get on various videos is all over the map. Like the previous one, I got 50 hits, which is quite a lot for me. Other times 15, so I'm puzzled. Ciao.